Joyce, are you able to hear me? I don't know what is happening today. Even the audio for Joyce is not okay. I really don't understand what is happening. All the same, as we wait for them to sort out their issues with the audio, we are going to continue. And I've said I shared what you call the exercise files. So we are going to start from what we call Scratch. That is what we agreed. And we are going to start with this column. But before we start with that column, there is something that we are supposed to do. So we are supposed to come up with the name of the project. We are supposed to come up with the name of the project. That is exactly where we are supposed to start, coming up with the name of the project. And if we come up with the name of the project, then we can be able to know exactly what is the scope of this project. And I want us to come up with a project. And this project, we are going to use the exercise files. And we are going to come up with what we call the major tasks. So we are going to call the project the bedroom what? Bedroom refit. So that is the name of our project. Bedroom refit is the name of our project. So we are going to put down our name, bedroom refit there. Bedroom refit. Bedroom refit. So that is the name of the project. So the next question we are supposed to ask ourselves, what is the scope of this project? And now the scope of the project forms now the basis of coming up with the major phases of the project. So if you are refitting the bedroom, that is the task, that is the name of the project. The project should start at the top. So we move to what we call the activities that are the major activities that are supposed to take place in a project. So I'll just paste them there. So we have the major activities. So the project is bedroom refit, but it is going to involve planning. It is going to involve what we call finance. And it's going to involve contractors. Hello. Yes, yes. Umejoin link gani? You know there are two links. Kuna yenye ilitumwa. Kuna hiyo yenye ilitumwa imeandikwa updated. Uko na hiyo updated? What does it say? Cohort 2 project management softwares. Kuna hiyo iko na cohort. Kuna two links zilitumwa jana usiku. Angalia hiyo iko na cohort 2. Tumia hiyo, hata ufai kuuliza kama unaadmitiwa, hiyo ni direct. Yes, join. Delete hiyo yenye inakusumbua. Okay. Okay, so that is one of us having an issue to join the class. I hope he'll manage to join us. So I was saying that we have the project, and having the project, we have the major tasks. So the first task is called planning. We are going to involve finance. We are going to have contractors. We are going to have preparation. We are going to have electrical work. We are supposed to have plumbing. We are supposed to have tiling. We are supposed to have flooring, painting, equipment, and finish. So this is a simple project. However, it's not that simple, because you can be able to see that we have already listed the scope of the project. Number one, we have agreed in the theory class, we say that there are things that this system cannot do for you. Number one is to come up with a project. That is our project at the top, bedroom refit. So that is our project. Then the system cannot be able to come up with a work breakdown structure, or it cannot be able to come up with the major phases of your project. So it is up to you as the project manager now to think what is supposed to be done in the project for you now to execute the project. So these are the major activities. It is actually the boundaries of the project. And the boundary number one is we are starting from planning and we are ending at the point of finishing our project. So at this point, we are supposed to do something else because you cannot be able to implement this project the way it is. So what are we going to do? So once we come up with the project name, we come up with the major activities. We are supposed now to break down our project into what we call the sub activities or sub tasks. Then in case we are going to break down further the sub task, we are going to have what we call the work package. But for our project, we want now to break down planning. We want to know the activities under planning because you cannot be able to implement the project the way it is. So if you cannot be able, let me bold this and use a different color so that you can be able to see the difference. So the first one is our project. These are the major activities of your project. We are refitting the bedroom that has a problem. And remember, it might not be only one bedroom. We may have more than one bedroom. So the next part is to break down planning so that you can be able to implement it. We break financing or finance so that you can be able to implement it. The way it is, you cannot be able to implement it. Then we have contractors. We break down the contractors so that we can be able now to handle our contractors. So what are the activities under preparation of the bedroom refit? What are the electrical work under bedroom refit? What about plumbing? What is all about plumbing? What are the activities under plumbing? Tiling the same, flooring the same, painting the same, equipment the same. So we have started adding our activities into what we call, this is what mode. This is what? We call it what? This mode is what? We are in which mode? I want us to have a very interactive session so that we can be able to learn. So I'm asking the mode in which we are in this particular plan. That way we can be able to say that we are learning or we understood what we said. Which mode is this? Any idea? Yes, we are in manual. Manual. We said whenever you see that pin, the notice board pin that you can be able to pin anything on the notice board, we call it what? We say that we are in manual scheduling. Manual scheduling. Now, we have come up with the major activities. I want us to move now to the next exercise. This is exercise number one, coming up with the project, then planning for our project, or rather highlighting all the major activities. So I'll move to the next one, that is task breakdown. Remember, I have said that once you come up with the major phases in your project, you cannot be able to implement them the way they are. So you need to break down. So I want to break down by introducing all the sub activities or sub tasks under each and every phase. And phase number one is planning. So I'll pick all the activities under planning and I want to paste them under planning. So what am I going to do? I am going to add cells here. I am going to add the cells, that is insert. I'm assuming these are tasks, then I'll replace the tasks the way they are. Then I'll delete this one because we don't have a task under that. That is planning phase. Then under finance phase, I think I should actually separate them a little bit so that you can be able to see them. They're supposed to be to have what you call a difference. Let's differentiate them. Then we have tiring, we have painting, we have equipment, we have finish, because that is the end of our project. So we have broken down our project from planning. Let's now add finance, the activities under finance. So under finance, finance is here. I've used a red color so that you can be able to see the difference. So I want to insert tasks. These are tasks that are supposed to be done under finance. Those are two activities under finance. I'll go back again and pick all the activities under contractor. I have 4 activities under contractor. So I'll simply paste. I just need to go 4 steps or add 4 cells. So insert the tasks, then you paste. If you want to type, you can go ahead and type. Remember, you have this data. I'm using a data that you already have in your system or in your email. So we have contractors. I'll go back again and I pick preparation, the activities under preparation, there are 5. So I want to add 5 cells under preparation, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I insert what? Insert the task. Remember, I'm clicking my right clicking my mouse to add all this. Then I'll also add the other activities. We have under electrical, we have how many activities? We have 5. We have 5. So I will add the 5 cells. 1, 2. No, they are supposed to be under electrical. So I should click what? Plumbing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So after the 5th one, we are supposed to right click our mouse and insert the tasks. So we paste again and we move again. That is tiring, the activities under tiring. There are 4 activities under tiring. We have tiring, so I need to add 4 activities under tiring. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Insert the task. We have 4 activities. Do you have fixing? Fixing, secondary fixing is other plumbing. So this one is other plumbing. So I should change it to be uniform. Hello. Yes, yes. Yes, I'm presenting. You can't be able to see it? Okay, let me check. Probably we have a problem with the internet. Aoni. So there is a oh, okay, all right. Chat, need to me a text kwa chat. Okay. So are you able to see what I'm presenting? Because I'm doing presentation here. I don't know whether you can be able to see, because in my other gadget, I can be able to see my screen. Mother, are you able to see anything on your screen?
Yes, we can see.
What can you see?
The
Activities.
what is it called? Yeah, the activities.
Okay. Let me, Joyce. Gloria, Gloria, are you able to see anything on your screen?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Joyce? Joyce, are you able to see my screen? So at least two has confirmed that they can be able to see my screen. Actually, I can be also be able to see my screen because I'm using the backup gadget and I am using the main laptop. Eric and Gidenji, kindly log out and rejoin again. Log out and rejoin again. Eric, if you cannot be able to see my screen, log out and rejoin again because I can also be able to see this screen on the other end. Or you want me to present again? Maybe probably I can stop presenting. I think today there is a problem with the network to some of us. I think there is a problem with probably with the network. So let me stop presenting and present again. Probably they will be able to see. Let me present again and kindly confirm that you're able to see it. Tell me you can be able to see it. Are you able to see it now? Is it visible? Mm-hmm. Is it visible? Gloria is saying that the screen is visible. Gdenji, is it visible now?
Yes, it's visible.
Mm-hmm. Gdenji is the one saying that he cannot be able to see the screen. Gdenji, where are you today? Your internet seems to be unstable. Eric, are you able to see my screen? Gdenji, confirm in the chat you can be able to see my screen. If you cannot confirm again, you cannot be able to see it. Probably your internet is not stable. Yeah, left. Let's wait for them to join. They have challenges today. Hmm? Seems there is a lot of problem. So if you're able to see my screen, then I let them to sort out the issue of the internet. Probably there is a problem from their end, but I can be able also to see it from the other end. So I'll add flooring. So we have flooring here. So we insert the tasks and we add the activities like that. So we delete the one that we don't have. Then we move to painting. Painting. Remember, we normally say that a project is supposed to undergo 5 phases, but in one phase you can have what you call sub phases. In one phase,
Hello, Gloria, can you hear me? Hello, Gloria.
we can be able to hear you. Then you go on. Gidenji, we can be able to hear you. Go on. Seems his mic is not. His mic has a problem. So we move to painting. Painting, we also do the same. We insert the tasks and we delete the one that we don't want. Then we move to equipment. So what are we supposed to do under equipment? What we are supposed to do under equipment, then we go ahead and do what? We go ahead and insert task under equipment. And we delete the one that we don't want. Then the last activity that we are supposed to have is finish. We have finish here, so we go ahead and do what? We go ahead and add these activities here. So basically, this is what we are calling the project what? We have the phases, the major phases. We have broken down the process of adding all these activities. Givenji is still saying that there is no presentation. Givenji, which kind of data are you using today? Is it unatumia Telecom ama unatumia data gani? I think Givenji will listen. I'll share the clip so that he can also be able to follow from the clip, because if the rest they can be able to see my screen, then is my voice breaking? That is how you know whether the network is stable or not stable. Is my voice breaking? Is my voice breaking, mother?
No,
I'm very clear, isn't it?
Yeah, you're clear.
So I think G today is using, I think, Telecom network. I don't know, but we can now go ahead and continue with adding or any other activity, or rather, we have or we bring forward what you call the work breakdown structure, the numbering system now. So if you want to know how the activities are supposed to follow each other, we are now going to bring in the numbering system. And the numbering system will help us to know, after scoping, what else are we supposed to do, or where are we supposed to, or what activity are we supposed to follow. Decide about the project manager, check permission required, fixing dates, temporary accommodation. So you need to bring in the aspect of what you call the work breakdown structure. So for you to bring in the work breakdown structure in this particular program, what are you supposed to do? You are supposed to click the column. You highlight the column for the task name and you do insert. You insert the column. You insert the column. So we are going to insert the column. So once you hit insert the column, you'll be able to see the number of items that will have what you call the drop down arrow. And then what you're supposed to do is to type WBS, because you want the work breakdown structure. So we have work breakdown structure there. Work breakdown structure. So this is what? This is the WBS. So there are 3 things or 4 things that we have done here. Number 1, we have come up with a project. Number 2, we have come up with the major phases of this particular project. Number 3, we have broken down the major phases into what you call the sub activities or subtasks. Then after the subtasks, we have introduced what you call the work breakdown structure. Some people will call it the WBS naming system. The WBS naming system. So that is what most of the time people will call it, the WBS naming system, or the work breakdown structure naming system. Then you can now be able to see that the naming system has a problem, because you cannot say that you start with the planning, you do planning, that is number 2, then number 3 you do scoping. So this numbering is wrong the way it is, because scoping is part of the planning. So we are supposed to have, for example, if planning is number 2, number 3 we are supposed to have finance and not number 9, because this is part and parcel of what you call planning. So we are supposed to have 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, 2.5, like that, like that. Are we moving on together?
Yes,
Yes.
Okay, good. Uh, Once we have done that, we are supposed now to indicate the duration for each and every activity here. So remember, we said that we can give duration in what? Duration is given in what and what and what and what? Duration. Duration is given in what and what and what and what? Gloria, the duration. We give duration in what and what and what?
Days,
Days,
months,
months,
minutes,
minutes,
hours.
hours,
Yeah, that's what I can remember.
and also weeks.
Oh yeah, and weeks.
Okay, very good. Yes, the duration is supposed to be in form of what? We have days, we have weeks, we have minutes, we have hours, we have months, among others. So I want us to focus on what you call days. So under scoping, we are going to say that we are going to take, for example, to be realistic a bit, we can say that scoping can take, for example, 9 days. Selecting the style that you're going to use, we are going to say that is 7 days. Deciding about the project manager, that is something that can take a day. Then we have checking permission required. That is something can take 4 days. Fixing the date for project implementation or fixing the date, we can take, for example, 5 days. We have temporary accommodation. For how long will it take to accommodate, for example, the team in the project? Let's say 17 days or even 40 or 50 days. Then we move to finance. Remember, you don't indicate the duration of the phase because you have already broken down your project or your plan, and that is why I have missed planning, or rather that is why I have omitted duration of planning duration here, omit that. And finance, I omit it because whatever I get after adding number 11 and number 10, or rather number 10 and number 11, is the total of what you call finance. So estimating the project finance, or rather what you call the budget, is going to take, for example, 10 days to budget for your project. So that is 10 days to budget for your project. So the other one is arranging finance. Arranging finance. So we can arrange finances in, for example, 8 days. Then we have contractors. Remember, you don't put your duration here. So getting contractors. Getting contractors will take, for example, how many days? Getting contractor recommendation will take, for example, 3 days. We have 3 days. The other one is making contractor shortlist. There, that is make contractor shortlist. Shortlisting the contract will take, for example, 4 days. Getting contractor quotation. This is tendering. So when you open the tender for the contractors to submit their bids, then we can say that roughly this will take, for example, 21 days. Then appointing the contractors. So this can take, for example, 5 or 6 days. Remember, I'm doing this hypothetically. Then ordering the skip for West, this can take, for example, 2 days or so. So you can just add using the arrows, that is top and bottom arrows. Gut existing bedroom, we can talk about 2 days. Preparing what we call the flooring. This we can estimate that this is going to take, for example, let's say 15 days or so. Then we have preparing the tiling. So this is 15 days. 15 days. And we have preparing for tiling. Probably you are tiling, you are putting tiles. Let's say this will take, for example, 24 days. Prepare painting. Prepare for painting. Probably preparing for the painting will take 3 or 5 days. Or let's say 12 days. Then we move to the electrical phase. Fixing the electrics, let's give it, for example, 28 days. 28 days. We have second fix electrics. Let's say this will take, for example, 21 days. Certification. Probably we are looking for certification. For us now to conduct that is electrical works, we can talk about, let's say this will take, for example, 14 days. Then we move to plumbing. Plumbing is a phase on its own. Plumbing. So plumbing, this one is plumbing, that is a phase on its own. So we are going to use a different color. So this is plumbing. Let me use plumbing, yeah, because these are phase. So the other one is first fixing plumbing. I don't know whether our colleagues got the network. Eric, is your network stable now? Eric? Eric, is your network stable now? Are you able to hear me clearly? Are you able to see my screen? Eric Mwangi? Eric, are you able to hear me? Here we have what? I hope the network is a bit stable. I don't know. Joyce has joined. I don't know whether her network is also stable or unstable, because I can see Eric is in, but it's like he's unable to hear my voice. Okay, first fixing what you call plumbing, we can take, for example, remember this hypothetical, we can take, for example, 3 days. But when you are preparing for this, you are supposed to give exact what days. Let's say, for example, this is 5 days. Let me connect my laptop. Gidenji, are you able to hear me? Are you able to see my screen?
Yeah, yes, ma.
So,
I can hear you. Yes, I can.
so your network has stabilized, eh?
Yes.
Ama umetumia Telecom leo?
Um,
Okay, all right. So let's continue. So we have second fixing. Fixing. Remember, I'm just putting what we call hypothetical figures, but we can have real figures if you like. For example, reviewing the tiles available. This is visiting the suppliers of the tiles. You want to see the kind of tiles that they have, and you select the tiles that will meet the requirement of the customer or the client. So let's say this will take you 3 days to travel to where the supplier is, selecting the order of the tiles. Selecting the order probably will take a day, 1 day, selecting the order, then delivery of the tiles depending on the queue in the orders that have been placed. Probably this can take, for example, 21 days or roughly 2 weeks. Let's use 14 days. Fitting the tiles. This will take more than probably the delivery time. Can talk about 21 days. Then we'll move to flooring, reviewing available floor. So this will take, for example, 2 days or 3 days. It will depend. Then select the order. Select and order flooring, the kind of floor that you want to have here. Probably we can have 3 days. We have 3 days. I should have used the right abbreviation. So we have 3 days. Flooring, probably delivering this or doing this will take, for example, let's say 18 days. Fitting the floors will take, for example, 15 days. So I don't have the exact days for this. So you can use any days from your end. Use any as far as it is okay. Fitting the floor, I have said, for example, 15 days. And there is need for me to save this particular document so that I don't lose the document. So this is what? Bedroom refit. Bedroom. So the project is called Bedroom Refit for those who are not in. And we have talked about the process of coming up with this. This is for the May intake. We can just intake. This is the second cohort for the May. So we can just have it like that. So reviewing the paint option. Reviewing the paint, we can use 2 days. Selecting the order for the paint. So you can select in a day. Paint delivery, we can talk about 6 days. Painting now, we can talk about, for example, 17 or 19 days. Then we move to equipment. Painting, I have said 20 days. 20 days. Visiting bedroom showrooms. We can, for example, take 2 days. Selecting and ordering the equipment could take 3 days. Equipment delivery, remember you need the equipment for the bedroom. You know what we mean by equipment. Probably this can take 7 working days. Fitting the equipment, this could take, for example, 12 days, but 12 are too many. 9 days. Resolving any problems that you have in your project. Cleanup, we can take, for example, 5 days. And refit, this we can assume these are milestone. Refit complete. So these are milestone. Always remember that the milestone is denoted by what you call a diamond symbol at this point here. And you can be able to see that by 14th05 we should be there. Now, we have said that we have come up with a work breakdown structure. We have come up with a project called Bedroom Refit. And we have come up with the major phases. As you can see, the major phases are in red color so that you can be able to differentiate the major phases and what you call the sub activities or the sub task. In this particular project, we don't have work package, as you can be able to see, because if we have a work package, that means under each and every under each and every sub activity, you'll be able to see other work packages or what you call their subtask of the what? The subtasks. So you break them 3 times from planning, then the activities under planning, then sub activities under what? Activities in the planning phase. So we have said that our WBS here, when you want to insert the WBS, we have said you select what? The task column, then you right click your mouse, you insert what you call a column. So when you insert a column like that, definitely you are going to see all the following. You are going to see so many items in the list when you insert the column. So you are supposed to type WBS because you are simply breaking down your project into what you call manageable activities. And we always have advantages for breaking down your project. Number one, we normally say that when you break down your project, you'll be able to manage your project and you'll be able to manage your resources effectively, or not effectively, efficiently, your resources that you have, work, material, and cost. The other thing is that you're able to manage risks. Apart from that, you'll be able to know how the activities will follow each other. So you may not miss your target here because you know the order, the sequence in which the activities will follow each other. So what are we supposed to do here? For us now to differentiate this, because the way it is, the system doesn't recognize that planning is a phase. So the system is picking, or the system is interpreting that planning is an activity under what? It is one of the activities in all the activities that we have here. So the system doesn't recognize planning as a phase. So what are we going to do? I'm going to change this. I'll select that, the entire column, and I'll change into what we call automatic. That is the black color, so that you can be able to see what I mean by saying that the system doesn't recognize any activity here as a phase. So I let the plan stay, I'll be like that. And now the next step that we are going to follow, we have the project duration. We have listed all the activities and their duration. The other part, we have listed, or we have come up with the scope of the project. All the activities that we have here forms what you call the scope of the project. Then we have listed the numbers, or what you call the work breakdown structure. Then our task mode is still in what we call the manual scheduling, because we are adding activities or duration manually. So the next step that I want to take you is to separate what you call the major activities and minor activities. So anytime you get a question, or for example, if you are not given the duration of a certain activity, it simply means that there are sub-activities, and the sub-activities now will form what you call the total duration for that particular phase. For example, planning, you can be able to see that under planning, we don't have the duration, because when you add scoping, selecting style, deciding about the project manager, checking permission required, fixing the date, and probably what you call accommodation here, they fall under planning. And you can see when you add all these, they normally form what you call the total duration for planning phase. So then how do we change planning to be a phase? So you normally select all the activities under planning up to where they are. That is scoping all the way to temporary accommodation. Then you're supposed to move to your task tab. Then under your task tab, I said that whenever you see this line cutting across from the bottom to the top, that clearly shows what? It clearly shows that is the starting of this particular group up to where we have another line. So this is a group called the clipboard. We move to the font group. Then we are going to move to the schedule group. Our interest is here. So from the schedule group now, we'll be able to now separate the major phases with minor phases. So there are two arrows, one arrow pointing towards your right hand side, the other one pointing towards your left hand side. So these arrows, they are called indenting arrows and outdenting arrow. We have two, indenting arrow and outdenting arrow. So we are going to use indenting arrow. Indenting simply means you push the somehow inside so that you can be able to separate what? All these activities. So we are going to hit this arrow that is pointing towards your right hand side. And once I click this, automatically the planning phase becomes bolded, and we get what? The what? This is an estimate on when you're supposed to start. Automatically the system recognizes the first activity here is the we'll take now, or we'll assume the first start date here. But remember, we have not defined for the system the actual date for this particular plan. So what are we supposed to do next? We are supposed also to separate the rest so that we can have what? We can now remain with the major phases. So under the contractors, up to where we have contractors, we ident, you can be able to see that we are now separating what? We are now separating the major activities with minor activity. Remember, I'm guided by the duration column. So the duration column, where we have blank, it simply tells me that that is a phase, up to where we have another blank column. So I'll simply select this and I'll hit what? I will hit my indenting arrow. Then I'll move to electrical up to where the last activity under electrical is. I'll move to plumbing again. We have 2 days here. I will indent that activity. I want you to check what is happening to the WBS, and you'll be able to see now it is now taking shape. Under tiling, we are going to hit or to indent tiling up to where we have the last activity. Then under flooring, then we move to fitting flooring. That is it. Then the other part is what we call painting. Remember, I'm guided by this column here. And where I don't have duration assumes that that is a phase. So I'll pick the first 4 activities there under equipment, indent them, and under finish, because that is the phase, I will now hit indent. So now I manage to separate the major activities and minor activities. So for me to view the summary of the major activities, I can simply highlight this, the activities here. I can hit view outline here, tab called outline under what you call the data group. So under the outline here, I can hide level 1. Actually, I don't want to hide everything. I wanted to hide the minor activities. So I can hide subtasks like that. I already hid the subtask under planning. Under finance, I'll do the same. I have clicked view tab. Under the data group, my interest is on outline. And I will hide the subtasks because I want to remain with the major phases. Then under the contractor, I will hide the activities under the contractor, hide subtasks. Then preparation, I'll do the same. I will hide them. Outline, we have hide activities like that. And we do the same here. We have what? The sub activities. Then we move to the other activities, that the major activity, we hide the same. That is hiding the subtask. Remember, we are dealing with the subtasks. So we hide the subtasks. I will hide the subtask again. I will hide the subtask here. And I will also hide the subtask here. Then we hide the subtasks. So end of the day, what you can be able to see is what you call the major activities. And the major activities now got the right numbering for the WBS because we are starting from planning. Planning, that is the first activity for this particular project. Then the other major activity is what you call financing or finance. The other one is contractors. We have preparation. The numbering now is okay. If you want to open them, you can hit this arrow pointing towards your right hand side in the WBS, or rather in the task column, or you can select all of them and you move to the outline under view tab. Then you say what? Show something that you have prepared. Now, having done that, I'll go back again to the summary. So I want to make this bedroom tab as our project, and I will also highlight this indent. I indent the major activities. So when you indent the major activities, you have now already made bedroom refit as the project. You can see that we have what? The project number 1 is the bedroom refit. 1.1, because we don't have now 2. We don't have 2 because we only have one project here. So having one project, we are now going to start, because planning is under now bedroom. We have 1.1. Finance now takes 0.2. 0.3 contractor. So if we open this, that through the tab, there is the data group in the outline and show the subtasks. So I now be able to see that the WBS now is okay. It is correct now, because it has already broken down this project. Because when you do planning, this is planning. Under planning, you can be able to see it is supposed to end where we start now, 1.2. So 1.1.1, 1.1.2, 1.1.3, 1.1.4, 1.1.5, like that. So the WBS is now perfect. We can now be able to say that we have already broken down our project. Remember, there is a mix of what we call manual mode and auto mode. So we cannot be able to convert our plan into auto scheduling simply because we have not completed adding everything that is supposed to be added here. Remember the 5 areas that this system cannot answer for you. Remember the 5 questions that you must answer as a project manager. So we have already defined the tasks, the task mode, that is manual. Then we have the WBS. It is now clear. We can be able to see the naming. I'll say the other term that people normally use is that this is a WBS naming convention. We have already introduced the WBS. We have put numbers, etc. So that is a complete WBS. So then we move to the duration. So the question is the duration okay? Is the duration okay? Is the duration okay? Now, we'll have to go back to define when the project is starting. Remember, we say that a project should have a start date. You can ignore the end date and you leave the project software to work on the end date. But you must define when the project is commencing. And the first activity under when the project is commencing is the same start date for the project. So I'll define the date in which my activity, my first activity will start. And I'm assuming that the first activity started last week. Last week on when? Let's say on Wednesday 1st. So when you change the date for the first activity, as you have seen, it has already changed the date for the phase, and it has already changed the date for what? For the project. Let me repeat again. You can see the way the dates are. The project is saying that we are starting on Tuesday, and remember Tuesday is today. So automatically the system will pick today's date as default if you have not set your calendar. We said we have 3 types of calendar. That is the night shift, 24 hours, and the standard calendar. So we are going to work now on the standard calendar for us now to define the duration or the date in which this project is going to start. So I'm assuming that the project started last week on Wednesday. That was working day, and automatically the system picks the first activity. But there is something that you need to do on this particular plan so that you can maintain or you can retain that this project started on the 1st of May 2024. So I want you to take you to the next tab. Remember, we have touched task tab. If we completed everything, we are moving step by step. Then I have talked about the view, specifically the outline, especially when you want to check how the system or the activities or the sub activities are organized. Now I want to move to the project tab because of the start date and the finish date. So that is the reason why I'm moving to the project tab. And I'm here because of the project information. What does it say? The project information, you need to click the project information. I want you to see the difference, what I'm saying. The project information for the bedroom refit May 2nd, that is intake cohort 2. What is the start date? According to the project information, it is reading 14. But according to you, you are saying that you started your project on 1st. Can you see where we have a problem here? So that is why it is important for you to define the start date in your plan and also under your project information, such that they can rhyme. So I'm going to change this and say I project started on 1st. So now you can be able to see that the project started on Wednesday. The project here started on Wednesday. The current date is today's date. So we are going to retain that one the way it is. But there is something that we need to do. The start date is supposed to be the same as the status date of the project. That is when the project started. So for you to retain this, there is need for you to change this up to 1st of Wednesday, May 2024. So the status date and start date should be the same. Should be the same. Then you are scheduling your project from when? When you started your project. That is the start date. Do not schedule from what? Finish date. So you schedule your project from the start date here. So you click that one. The calendar is standard unless you are working on a night shift calendar. So the priority, we leave the priority up to 500 and we can now hit OK. I'll come back to statistic later, but so you can also be able to see that the project has done some configuration a little bit. If you didn't notice, there is something that has happened here. The next activity that we are supposed to do is that I want us to link these activities. I want us to assume that the sequence in which these activities are supposed to follow each other is the way the work breakdown structure is. The sequence, the order in which all these activities in the project will follow each other. So 1.1.1, then move to scoping, then move to the rest and so forth. So the reason why I want to link this task, it's because I want the system now to tell me after selecting style that is going to take 7 days. What is the duration here? I don't need to define this. The system should do it for me. And so I select what is below the planning phase or the subtask, and I link the task. How am I going to link the subtask? I'm now going to leave the project tab and go back to task tab. And I want you to go to the schedule group, as you can be able to see the schedule group. So under the schedule group, we have this, we are calling what? This is called linking the task. I am now linking the task. Automatically the dates will appear because the system has already picked the start date and you have the duration for each activity. That means the system will automatically pick the predecessors, will also pick the start date and finish date of your project. So I link the same. I want to link the estimate again. So I'll use this chessable on your task. So I'll move to the contractors and link them. I'll move to preparation and I'll move to electric work and link. Also link labbing. Then we have reviewing available files, we link them. Then we link this. We link this. So we are linking simply to define the sequence in which the activities will follow each other. So that is the first step of assuming that the activities will follow each other. So that is why I'm linking all these activities. And whenever you link, you can be able to see now, the system can be able to tell you the exact date when you're going to start and when you're going to finish. So link again the following. I hope you are following. See that you are following the steps that we are using here. Are you following? Is there a question up to where we are now? Any clarification or question before we move to the next part? Is there any question, any clarification? I will assume that the silent means there is no any question. In case there is, type in the chat. I'll be able to respond it. I am also going to hide this because I also want to link the faces. So I want to link the faces. So you can do it this, or you can do like this, or you can do, or you can follow the steps of just viewing your head. I'm going to watch the outline, and you can actually hide what the subtasks, but you must select them for you to hide them. You hide the weight like this. You have tasks. There are many ways of hiding subtask here, and I want to hide. Now the reason why I've hidden the subtask, it's because I also want to link the major phases with our project. Remember, it is not linked, so I want to link them. So go back to home, have the schedule group, and I want to link them like that. So you can be able to see now the predecessors are now appearing. They are here. We'll talk about the predecessors. So then I can go ahead and open everything. Done that, I'll go to view, then show the tasks. So that is the best, the bedroom refit. Let me explain about the predecessors. Predecessors will clearly define the sequence in which the activities are supposed to follow each other. Remember, the way I have linked these activities might not be the same in your project because scoping might not actually follow selecting style, or deciding about the project manager, which is task ID or task ID column number 5, or task ID number 5, deciding about the project manager, might actually start at the same time with what? Checking permission required. So in any case that you have these activities starting at the same time, then what are you going to do? This is why you change now the default, the predecessor. Let me show you the default. So I'll simply hide this and I'll double click. I will double click that. Then this window is going to pop up. So your interest is on what? Your interest is not on general. Your interest is not on resources, not on advanced, not custom field. Your interest is on predecessors. In selecting style, you can be able to see that it has already picked the default predecessor, which is FS, the first one. This one, this is the default one, the one that we have put in our system by linking the task. Whenever you link your task, they automatically pick the first what? Task dependency, or what you call the predecessor number 1. That is finish to start. FS, what does it mean? FS means what? Finish to start. That you cannot be able to start deciding about the project manager before you select a style. So that is what it simply means by FS. That is, you finish selecting styles or style, then you move to deciding about the project manager. But I want to change that thinking that I must complete selecting style for me to do to decide about the project manager. Then how am I supposed to do that? Assuming that the two activities, that is task ID number 4 and number 5, are starting at the same time, or they are supposed to happen at the same time. Because in project management, activities do not wait other activities. Or probably you find that there are some activities that are waiting other activities to be completed. Others are supposed to start at the same time. Others will complete at the same time. Others must be completed for you to start the implementation of the project. So if the two activities are starting at the same time, then I'll pick. So the name is about the project manager. This is the successor task. Then the predecessor task, which is above this activity, is called selecting style. So I am now changing the default and saying that these activities will start at the same time. But when you say that these activities will start at the same time, you mean that the predecessor will start, then followed by the successor. So they are almost starting at the same time, SS. So I'll hit, and you can be able to see that the predecessor has changed. The predecessor has changed. We can also say that this activity we are calling what? We are calling deciding about the project manager is starting at the same time with another activity. We double click this. Because we want to talk about the predecessors. So the predecessors, so which other activity is starting at the same deciding about the project manager. So you can select from the list all the activities. Let's say there are almost the second phase, that is financing. Say that estimating financing starting at the time with what? Deciding about the project manager. So you can hit, so the task must be unlinked for you to select that one. So it may not pick for us to link first the task. For example, let me unlink this one because this is what I want to do. So what you are going to do is that we unlink the tasks. So that is estimating the finance. You unlink Remember, the linking and unlinking are adjacent to each other. So let's unlink this like that, and we're combining it with what deciding about the project manager. Let's also unlink this. So we double click this, and first of all link it with selecting styles. We link it with selecting styles. So we are saying that they are starting at the same time. That is SS. So automatically that will pick for SS. Now I want that is also happening at the same time. So estimating project finance or finance is going to happen at the same time with selecting what activities or deciding about the project manager. That is deciding about the project manager. It's supposed to happen at the same time. So it has already picked 5 SS and 4 SS. So that means the two activities or these activities are going to happen almost at the same time. If, for example, getting coordination and making the contractor list, and actually these are actually finishing at the same time. So we can pick the first one, pick it, we bring what? Our interest is on the contractor recommendation. So any activity under that is supposed to end at the same time, getting contractor recommendation. So by the time you are appointing the contractor, you have completed everything. So this is what it is going to tell me to unlink these tasks. Yeah, the tasks are linked. So let me unlink the task for me now to be able now to select that option. That is the sequence in which these activities will follow each other. So I'll select that and pick it. It means on the second activity, contractor recommendation, it is happening at the same time. So all these activities at the same time. And so let me repeat the process. I think there is a problem. Based on that, we say that getting the contractor is starting at the same time with the contractor. So you're not saying anything when you say that. So getting the contractor. Remember, what I'm doing here is that I'm now showing you the sequence or the order in which the activities will follow each other. Though it depends on the project, the complexity of the project, the kind of project that you're implementing, and all the activities under each and every project. That way, you can be able to know, or maybe you are an expert in that particular area, or you have been involved in planning for this project. If you have been involved in planning this project, you'll be able to know how the activities, their order. So I'll pick that is contract list. I want this one to making the contract quotation finish at the same time. Finish at the same time. We have a quotation and this will finish at the same time. Then I'll select this again. And then getting contractor quotation. So it's not FS. So that is it. So these activities are happening at the same time. Getting contractor, this is what it simply means. 15 is the task ID. We agreed that this task ID is going to help you define the predecessors. What is that 15, activity number 15 is starting at the same time with this, where this number is. 15 SS, 15 is above 16. And there is what SS, meaning they are starting at the same time. That way, we have 15 SS, and 15 SS is adjacent to what you call make contractors list. So this activity is happening at the same time with this activity here. So understand how to interpret the Gantt charts or the schedule. You might find it somewhere. Then once you're through with this, remember I'm just picking a few of them. There is need for you to insert another column in between the predecessors and the resources, and call it successor successor tasks. Let me insert the column again. So I want to insert a column here. Insert a column here. Sorry, not WBS. I'm inserting a column task. Activities that you after this. So we call it successors. So they are supposed to pick like that. Remember, I did not add anything here. They are supposed to pick like that. If your predecessor column is okay, then the predecessor column has everything. The successor column, normally you insert it and it will pick automatically what has been in the predecessor, because the successor depends on what you have here. Let me interpret this. Look at what we have here. So under the contractors is that the successor number 17 or number 17 is the successor of number 9. So the question is, what is under number 9? Let's look at this. This makes sense, where we are saying the successor of this activity number 15 is number 14. So this is the successor of number, they are starting at the same time. Number 14 starting at the same time. Number 16 starting at the same time with what? With number 15. So that is what this simply means here. 16 is the successor of number 15. 14 is the 15 is the successor of number 14. That is why 14 is number 15. I know so many students do have challenges when it comes to this. I know when challenge. I've seen challenges when it comes to this. You find that so many people got questions here. Any question as far as the successors and predecessors are concerned? Any clarification that you want? So I assume that there is no question, and take back to your car. So what we have here is a plan. Meaning part that this is the resources. We need to put resources here. But in the meantime, because we have actually added almost 99% of all the activities and we have the duration, forget about the predecessors, because this will be determined by the project or you will be determined by the project managers who are managing or implementing a project, because they are experts here. For example, those who are in civil engineering, they are expert in the probably infrastructure project. They can be able to tell you that, for example, scoping will take you like how many days, or they can can be able to tell you that this activity we are calling activity A is supposed to be followed by this activity. Remember, that can only be done by an expert in that particular field. If you come, for example, in my field, I can tell you that this is the first activity, or these are how activities are supposed to follow each other. If you move, for example, to electrical engineering field, they are expert. They understand how activities will flow. You cannot start wiring before you deliver you do procurement and so forth. So there is a certain order, and that order is what you're having here as predecessor and successor tasks. So we can adjust our columns the way we want, and now we can actually link this. I can just link them. I can them the way they are now. They're okay, because you only unlink when you want to do what? You only unlink when you want to do any adjustment, and you can be able to see even the successor column has already changed. So I have it. And the next stage is that I want now to convert my plan into what we call auto scheduling. Scheduling is this particular group that is task group. So I've already added it's only resources. So you can, if you can just click number 3, you convert it into scheduling. Remember, you cannot leave this document without this. You cannot submit this document if you have not auto-scheduled your work. Here we have this, so to work easier, just select that, move to your task and hit auto-scheduling. So auto-scheduling is, so, and you can go to see how the bars are appearing on the side. They are here. And bars are following the order. All these activities are following each other. You see, each bar is under its own. So this is what the other part of the training. And if there's no question here, I don't think there is any other part that is. We need to move. I mean, on this particular part. So the next session we are going to move to the resources. So because you have this project, I would like you to come up with the resources for this project. For example, you want to do a bedroom refit. What are the resources that you need? So I would like you to come up with the resources that we need to do bedroom refit. You give us a list of the resources, and also give us the budget breakdown. For example, checking information, how much do they pay? For example, temporary accommodation, how much are they supposed to pay? So next session, I would like you to come up with a budget for this project, and I would also like you to come up with this. Resources, we have not created the resource sheet, we have not gone each and every subject for you to understand. So come up with something that is substantial and that can be used to demonstrate the resources that you need to do bedroom refit project. Otherwise, I want to add at that particular point. I'll share this immediately so that you can be able to use it. Or once you install the software, you can be able now to come back and check what you have done. But basically, that is what I had planned to teach today. I shared the Microsoft Office with you today, and If you did not get it, that means it's only H-Fan who did not receive it because you already have it. His system is working. The rest, you have the Office Professional. Go ahead and install it and also install the software. In case you have challenges, you can always reach me through my WhatsApp. My WhatsApp is always on. I can assist you remotely to install the software just in case you have issues. So otherwise, any question, any clarification so far that you need regarding what you have done here? So in our next session, remember to use the same link. Delete the previous link that was shared. Retain what you have used to join because that is what you are going to use to join in the subsequent lessons. Otherwise, I wish you a good night. Let's meet next week. For those who have other classes, can join. I think on Thursday and also on Wednesday. Have a blessed night.
Thanks, you
Good
too.
night.
Good night.